go. Are you ready?
For sure.
All right. Boom shakalaka. What up, Chris?
Yo, Jamie. How are we doing this week?
I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. I'm doing well. I went on.
Stop going on vacation.
I know. Had a little me time, and then we went to Cedar Point yesterday, and good time. Good time.
Yo, good job.
What's up, everybody? And welcome back to the very first episode 7 of Completely Unrelated, a show where we catch you up on all the latest in video game news. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie Bartlett, and this is, I guess you're on this side of me, Chris Bartlett, and together we are Completely Unrelated.
Completely unrelated.
Today's episode is brought to you by Dad and Company Pod, but we'll tell you more about that later. For now, I guess we can begin with the Overwatch stuff. You wanted to talk about that, the Overwatch League possibly ending. I should probably be in my microphone instead of away from it.
First, let's shout out to Jen Whiskey. Yes, for being in the chat, back and with some faces. Just as I say that, my face kind of cut out for a second. Oh, that is
you just
on cue, on brand.
Cannot make this stuff up.
Anyway, yes, first thing I wanted to get into is the Overwatch League news that's been out for a while, but there have been some things come out recently. But what's happening is 2017 Overwatch League was established, and this was supposed to be the best of the best. This is the professional Overwatch scene. If you're, top 500, top 20 in the world, you will land in Overwatch League and everybody will watch you do your thing. And it was awesome. I loved the first season. I loved the second, the third season. But over the years, it's definitely reports have come out of various, it is part of Activision Blizzard, and we all know how workplaces are at Activision Blizzard. And there were reports and allegations of toxic workplace, locker room environment, that whole thing, demeaning. Plus, I think that participants of the Overwatch League were finding out if they went to full-time streaming, they made much more money and they got much more recognition without the grind of the and hassle of the Overwatch League. So
you're saying this? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Jump in.
So you're saying they went full time? You mean they just went full time? Instead of only being in the Overwatch League, they were just streaming whenever. Was that something in their contract? They weren't allowed to stream anything other than Overwatch?
No, but
okay, I just didn't know.
People were some people would talk to it. Super's been open about it, that the rigorous schedule, the scrims, the travel before COVID, it was just, you'd be playing for 8 hours a day, and then do you want to play Overwatch more after you play Overwatch for 8 hours?
Yeah,
I mean, there are obviously there are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah,
but the answer for the most part is no. And then I think at one point I had read that it was like a $50,000 base salary, $50,000 a year.
Mm.
I understand that $50,000 isn't terrible, but when you're dedicating that much time and buy-in, so let's back up. So
the team buy-in is $20 million, right?
Initially, yes.
Yeah, but they're trying to up the price to what, 35 million is what I saw?
It was in between 20 and 35 million for the 8 expansion teams that came out.
Yeah, okay, I see it. Rising to as much as $35 million a year. Okay.
Yeah. So the big news that came out and why I think the Overwatch League is going to be dissolved is it's not making money, especially like when COVID hit, you can't do LAN parties. So when you can't be on the same network as somebody and some people are in Southeast Asia and some people are in, I don't know, Philadelphia, you're someone's going to have a ping difference. So it's going to be bad for them.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Sasquatch. Welcome
Yeah.
to the chat.
Yeah, he gifted I forget to who, but he gifted a sub last one. That was,
Was it Rose? I think it was Rose, wasn't
I
it?
believe so. Yep.
So they meaning Activision Blizzard is offering a $6 million termination fee. Not fee, a $6 million termination award, I guess. They're offering teams $6 million at the end of this season to buy out and be no more. They will no longer exist if they take that route.
I gotcha.
So the thing that I found interesting in this is not every team has paid their 20 to 35 million dollars of a buy-in.
Yeah.
Some of it was deferred, so some teams still owe. I don't I wonder if they're going to exonerate those payments or if they're going to be like, here's $6 million. By the way, we're keeping it.
Yeah. I just want to pause for a second. Sasquatch just gave us 1 bit. Really appreciate that. Heck yeah.
Hey, thanks for the bit, man. I think that's our first bit.
I believe you're correct. I don't think we've. Yep, it is. I'm looking at it right here. Yep, he is the. Yep. I don't know. I don't. I don't know what it is either. I obviously don't know what it is because we have specific alerts, and that is not one that I have created. That was like the stock Twitch one. So this completely crossed my mind. But nevertheless, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, Gen Whiskey, they absolutely. So just because their deal with Activision Blizzard is being canceled for the most part, like I think that it's going to happen. They absolutely will still have that division. Like the Overwatch League technically will still exist. So they could restructure it, uh, which I don't know how you feel about this situation so far, Jamie. Like, what do you,
I think I don't know, with kind of a sticky situation. I don't really know much about the Overwatch League or anything like that, but it seems like they are losing steam. Seems like when it first started, it was really popular. Everybody loved it, especially in the Overwatch community. But with it slowing down and possibly shutting down, um, I, I guess I don't know. Are there like other not Overwatch League like big tournaments that these players can keep playing in and stuff?
oh, yeah, absolutely. So they
Is
have, go ahead.
I was just gonna pivot to like another Activision property, Call of Duty. Like I know that they have the Call of Duty League, but not everyone who plays like nobody that I watch plays like in tournaments. None of them are part of the Call of Duty League. Like I follow LA Thieves, but like very like I'm just like okay, that's a like I will put my fandom there, but I don't really care about it. The Call of Duty League is like whatever. But I did like watching the like the Warzone tournaments and stuff, like Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman and Cloakzy playing, and for a while they were all part of 3 different organizations playing on the same team. You know, and I don't know. I thought that was interesting. So I wonder if they could pivot to something like that where they could just have like um I don't know what to call it, but just anybody can play with anybody and they can team up like that. Because
Yeah, that's true. And Jen Whiskey says it's not like Madden leagues need to depend on the NFL. That's true. They don't need to depend on the NFL, but they are highly affiliated with the NFL. Like there are NFL players who are super hyped to play in Madden tournaments and leagues. Uh, oh, we got 15 seconds on an ad. So if you're not subbed, we'll be back in 10 seconds, or we'll be back in a minute and a half. But if Blizzard takes a backseat to Overwatch, and that's what I wanted to get to. And so there are three things I wanted to say here. Yes, Madden definitely does not depend on uh, the NFL, but I think Madden's a different. It like if you have something successful around the NFL, it's going to flourish because it's the NFL. Like you can't fail if you are directly associated with the NFL, with as Madden is.
Yeah.
It's super, yeah, like it's just crazy. The other thing is I was never into sports games. I only played NASCAR a few times. That's
I
I
miss the old
don't think
NASCAR games. I miss
I
the
don't
old
think
NASCAR game.
I don't think I've ever played a NASCAR game.
I remember, I think it was like I don't remember what it was, but it was like NASCAR '06 or whatever. And like the opening song when you launched the game was Magic Carpet Ride by Steppenwolf. And it was so good.
Okay, I can get into that. But talking about Blizzard taking a backseat and setting up private structural tournaments, I think this is what they should do. They should lean on their very dedicated and highly successful streaming community. Uh, the Overwatch, the Overwatch World Cup this year was so successful. And part of that was due to the fact that they allowed the community to co-stream it. They were just like, if you want to stream it, do that. And it was so fun to interact with the community in such a way that we interact with the community when the Olympics come around, or when the World Cup comes around. It was so awesome to just see the best players who were, some of them were Overwatch League players, some of them were contenders players, some of them were just streamers. Because a lot of your streamers are top 500 players.
Yeah.
They're really good. But it was, if they would lean on their community like that and allow top Overwatch streamers to run turn, like, hey, we're gonna have a Bowie tournament this month, and Bowie's gonna run a tournament, and then we're gonna have I don't know, whoever the top, I do know a lot of the top streamers, J3, uh Super, like all of your top streamers for Overwatch running these tournaments, and just give them the creative control for a month. They're top streamers for a reason. Like they have a giant following, and it's just very fun. And if they were to lean into that structure somehow, then I think that competitive Overwatch could come back into the limelight and have another, for lack of a better term, 15 minutes of fame. But
Yeah.
I think that it could be sustained at that point.
Yeah. Sasquatch, he makes a good point where, like, when you make certain games in esports, it kind of ruins it for casual players. And I agree to a point on that, but for games like I don't know, Call of Duty and stuff like that, like you're not getting your 9 to 5s in games with like guys like Scumpy and Cloaksy and Tfue and stuff. Like their skill based matchmaking keeps you out of those lobbies. I don't really know how Apex works, but at least games with skill based matchmaking, love it or hate it, like it does separate players who are just trying to have a good time and then other players who are actually trying to compete, and not like compete, but like playing more competitively, you know?
Yeah, this was a big problem that I had. So this is something that has plagued Overwatch over the years, whereas all of their balance changes are based on what do the top skilled players like, how do they interact with the game, what do we need to do to balance their matchmaking instead of trying to balance the matchmaking across the spectrum. It is a very, very small percentage of the player base that are in top 500. Like, it's top 500 for a reason, and I understand that they want to keep those people happy, but when they make low low skill level players or low skill level characters but very high ceiling characters, but those high ceiling characters can only be played at top 500 level or at uh six stack like six stack scrim levels, then the rest of us just we don't get to participate in the balance changes as intended. Yes, I say the rest of us because I am not a top 500 player. I'm a bottom 500 player.
I
So,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry,
no, it's good. I was reading chat.
I got you. Yeah. I guess I don't know how. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think more. I have this feeling with all esports though, because like the Call of Duty League, it gets put on by Activision, Blizzard, and stuff. I feel like that we're going to start seeing a lot more outside companies start hosting more tournaments. Kind of how like I forget what the company is, but they do like all the. Why is my brain just not working right now?
That's funny.
The Mario Smash, Super Smash. Jeez, oh my
Oh,
goodness, I don't know how I could
yeah.
forget that game. But anyway, because this is like a lot of companies, and not that those things are like super uber popular, like Call of Duty and Overwatch is anymore. But like, there's a bunch of companies who like put on these tournaments, and streamers come and play in them and stuff like that. I feel like if more companies from outside the scope of Activision and Blizzard would put on tournaments like this, I think it'd be good for like all games, no matter what it is, Call of Duty, Overwatch, yeah, Brain Freeze for sure. I mean, down like even Rainbow Six Siege and I say Battlefield, but they're kind of on the verge of going away now. But you know what I mean? Like all these bigger games, you could have like smaller parties come in and put new tournaments and have all these other players come. And I think it'd be good for everybody.
Yeah, and they could do like well, first of all, I want to say the CDL is also like in the decline,
100%. Yeah.
but they what they could do is uh they could, instead of everybody wants to see the best players, right? That it's an argument that I've made. Esports is entertaining to me because it's the same as watching a football game. It's a bunch of people doing something that I like
Uh,
at a level that I cannot do it at.
Yep, exactly.
But they could run exhibition tournaments for uh they could run a bronze bracket. They can, and it would just be, and not do it all the time, but every once in a while throw in a community bracket. You know what I mean? Do something with the rest of us who don't have the opportunity to uh otherwise not showcase our skills, but just participate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I guess this is sort of off topic, but I'm gonna wheel around eventually. Um, so I have a coworker and his son, the high school he goes to actually has an esports team now. And he's playing Fortnite and stuff online and everything. And in these tournaments, they're like traveling and going to schools and like I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I went to one of like they have it set up in the gym and you can go and they have like a big TV and you can sit there and watch. I don't know, it's kind of neat. But and then there's a lot of colleges who are introducing these esports programs too. My wonder is it going to end up being sort of like the NFL where like you play in high school and then you go to college for it and then eventually you get drafted onto an esports team, like a professional esports team? Is that something that is like that you think would ever become
Uh,
reality?
I Well, yeah. So I think there's already I mean, outside of the just fluke prodigies who have crazy flick, crazy aims, there is a pipeline, as Jen Whiskey says, to and it has started. There is collegiate Overwatch.
Yeah.
And yes, we have my one of my son's friends, he was on their high school Overwatch team, and uh, and then there is a contenders league, which is basically not a farm system, but it is a step. And I don't use these terms lightly, but it is a step under the Overwatch league. But in Overwatch's situation, and I keep using Overwatch because it's the one I'm most familiar with,
Yeah.
but yes they have schools for it. Most uh Ohio University now has a gaming arena.
Do they really?
And yeah, it's awesome.
Did they like build
uh
it, or is it like an existing building
yeah.
that they just
Well, no, I don't think they constructed a new building,
Okay, okay.
but there was a space dedicated to it now, and that's where the OU Bobcats esports teams play.
Yo,
And
I just looked it up. This is kind of sweet.
yeah, it's an awesome looking facility. They have great pictures on their what is it, X, whatever the website formerly known as Twitter is now. Um,
Nah, that's still Twitter. I'm just kidding.
but we there absolutely is a pipeline, but it you know, if someone's big enough and gets a big enough following on Twitch, they're gonna be fast tracked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or in who was the, I don't remember. There was a streamer who played tank, I believe. I think he was a Doomfist player, but he got on a team, Chipsa. That's who it was. It was Chipsa. Chipsa was a streamer and then got onto a Overwatch League team, and everyone was pretty sure he got on that team because he was related to like a manager or something.
Really?
Yes. So outside of the few exceptions to the rules, there is a linear path that you can take.
Yeah. I just think giving I don't know, giving people and specifically children and like younger students a way and a dedicated place to practice and like actually commit to whatever we'll call it a sport because that's what it is.
Right.
Like, but they giving them a dedicated place and to actually practice and like be able to bounce off of teammates and stuff like that and work alongside these people. I don't know. I think it's just the same as practicing on a football field or practice on a baseball field or whatever. I mean, if you practice with like-minded people who are on your team and that's your dedicated team, like obviously you're going to get better. But I'm interested to see like where that all goes. That's with everything. I mean, I wish that sort of program was around when I was in high school and stuff because I would have really loved to try to be a part of something like that. You know?
Oh, absolutely. It was, I think that it's great, especially because well, when I back back in my day when the young whippersnappers were but they, if you were a, for lack of better terminology, a gamer when I was growing up,
You were weird.
yes, it was not okay.
Yeah.
Like there was a small group of us. Uh, pick up. It would be amazing to have a pick up matches with a cross of mature. That would be awesome, Jen Whiskey. I 100% agree. Uh, with as long I and keeping it balanced is the tough part, right? It's always the tough part. But if you're doing like an exhibition and it's just for fun, NBA does that. NBA esports or like NBA. Oh, like the All-Star game. Is that what you're talking about? Or the celebrity All-Star game? Gaming wasn't cool at one time. That is all seen as nerds and we're weird and singled out. You have no idea,
Yeah,
Sasquatch.
because now, like when you were growing up, it was just weird. It was like this newfangled thing that nobody wanted to. Everybody thought it was dangerous and bad for you, and then I got my parents grew up in that, and they were like, oh, you just keep playing them video games, you're never gonna mount it. They didn't ever say that, but you know what I mean. Like they frowned upon it. They didn't want me playing them all the time. And then now it's like kids being raised by people like me who are like, no, like video games are good for you. Like to an extent, obviously, moderation is everything with anything, though. So you can't just sit and play all the time.
What part have game tournaments played in the rise of live service games? That's that's a good question. I think that yeah, I guess I don't know what you mean by live service games. Is that
Game,
something I should?
yeah, it's games that like Fortnite. It's like free to play, and it's and like battle
Oh,
passes,
like
stuff like that.
oh, I think that it's all an interwoven web of connectivity where there's more eyes, and because there's more eyes, there's more people playing it. And if you have more people playing your games, you're going to have you're going to need more updates in the future because you need to keep more people happy. So yes, I agree. I think that it is a direct result of, especially this day and age where everything is instant. I need instant gratification. Oh, I got this new thing. Okay, cool. What's the next new thing? I need a new thing. That's why we have so many live service games and gaming tournaments. Also, you if you're in a gaming tournament, you don't want to see. Yeah, yes, I do know your thoughts on the live service games. Uh, I know that you think that they are destroying the game industry.
Oh man, well, this is awkward. I I think the exact opposite. Not the exact opposite, but I don't know. I think they're good for people because not everyone has disposable income, and if you can get into an experience with little to no cost, I think that's a good thing. I mean, if like Fortnite, like you can earn enough. I don't know what they're called, the battle pass points or whatever the heck they're called, um, and you can earn enough of them to buy the next battle pass, and that's pretty much how every battle pass works. Is usually you can earn enough of whatever the currency is, um, but you don't have to purchase anything. Like you don't have to buy the battle pass to have fun in Fortnite. You don't have to buy skins to have fun in Fortnite. You don't like it's not pay to win or anything like that. Like you can just download it and play, and I do like that
Well,
aspect. Go ahead.
I do. Yes, that is true. I
But
not everybody is like me because I don't care what I look like in the game. I don't care, but there are people who are like, now that I've gotten kind of good at this game, now I want to look good while I'm doing it. And yes, I do think that that's the business model, right? Uh but to just tie a bow on my previous point, if you're watching live tournaments, then you don't want to see like Overwatch 1 was stuck in a goats meta. So what that was for the uninitiated is go all tanks and supports. So goats. It was 3 tanks, 3 supports and no one ever died. And it was really catchy and fun at first, and then they didn't update the game for like a year and a half or 2 years, and we were stuck in that meta, double shield meta. So when you were playing DPS, it was terrible. But when you were, and they're trying to get away from that. So by introducing new characters and new maps all the time, you're getting a carousel, an ever revolving door of new content. Let's let's see how we adjust the meta now that there's a new support hero. Let's see how we adjust the meta on this new map when you need high mobility. So I think that for the casual player, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Not It's not as great for them, because I need, you know, 7,000 hours on a character before I can hit 2 shots in a row. So for somebody like me who continuous updates, it's harder for me to adapt. And I assume there's a great player base out there, a great number of people who play the game and might run into these same issues. But maybe I'm on an island by myself. But I do think that in that aspect of it, the gaming tournaments forcing the live gaming service, or the live service gaming, is hurting the community. Even non-live service games do the same kind of thing. Paradox Games, as much as I absolutely love them, sell the base game cheap, but then selling extras to own a quote full game of theirs generally costs over 400. Yeah, that's, I couldn't play a game like that. I just, part of the reason why WoW was so frustrating for me for a while was it it costs so much, and that's not just money though. Like, if you want to be a top World of Warcraft player, you had to dedicate weeks of your time to learning your rotation, learning boss fights, getting yelled at, called names, dealing with one of the most toxic environments if you weren't good. And then that was just to learn the fights. And then you had to find a group if you weren't in a dedicated raiding guild, which I was not, because I refused to put that kind of time in anymore. But back when I was in a full-time top raiding guild, it just consumed my life and I couldn't do it anymore. So the money and the time cost of games selling a basic version, and then if you want to unlock your full experience, pull out your credit cards and start swiping away.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to the Paradox thing. And other developers like Paradox that they sell cheaper base games. Yeah, they like occupy a strange space um because they sell like double A games. So they can't charge full price because it's not a Call of Duty, it's not a whatever. And I love all their games, Hearts of Iron and games like City Skylines. I love that game, but they just occupy a different space. So to get, like, they're not going to release a battle pass and then you're not going to pay for that for 9 months straight or whatever. Like, because Call of Duty is the same way. You pay $60 and then you buy the battle pass. It's $10. That's their way of, one, keeping devs developing, keeping content coming for the players, and then also making enough money to be feasible to stay in business. Because if they, I mean, I wouldn't buy City Skylines for $60, but I didn't have to, you know, because it was cheaper. And then I like, for games like that, the DLC, it's so specific. So in, if they dropped one DLC and it was like I don't know, $60 or whatever, I'd probably only use 2 or 3 of them in there. So I guess that's just my 2 cents on that. Fortnite is a crappy
Uh,
benchmark for success. Macro purchases, or do you mean microtransactions? I don't know. Enough toxic community issues, and yet times cosmetics well and gauges skill over play to win.
Now, I always appreciate gauging skill over uh pay to win. I hate pay to win games. I It's just not a model I mean, that's the reason why Diablo Diablo Immortal failed. And yes, I know that people still play it, but compared to what it was supposed to be, it definitely failed
Hmm.
because it was pay to win, like 100% pay to win, and not like $60. I'm talking 50. I think what it was is like $85,000 or something like that is what I read. That the top tier, if you wanted everything 100%, the best of everything in the game, you could buy it, but you had to buy so much stuff that were basically loot boxes.
That's what I can't stand is loot boxes. If you are a live service game, I'm a-okay with that. Do not put loot boxes because one, I agree with all these people that it's gambling. If like you just buy, $5 more, you'll get 2 more chests and you unlock them. What's $5 more? What's $5 more? And then eventually you pay $1,000 in a month and you're like, what am I doing here? And you still didn't get what you wanted. So like
True.
if you want to have, and this is a slippery slope, if you want to have loot boxes in game, there has to be a reasonable way to buy, or not to buy, but to earn whatever that is. Because if I'm looking at something like in the Fortnite store or whatever, I'll look at it, I'm like, this skin might not ever come back, but it's really cool looking and I want it, I'll buy it. But that doesn't affect the gameplay at all, you know? But if that was only available in a chest, I just wouldn't buy anything. I would just be like, I'm not like, if I have a 0.1% chance to get this skin, I'm not like, it's not worth it, you know? That's like trying to play the
True.
lottery. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I liked the loot boxes in Overwatch 1 because they were decently easy to get. Um and I felt like, as somebody who didn't like grind the game for 6 hours a day, I felt like I was still getting things even towards the end. Now I understand that that is relevant to my situation, being that I wasn't playing it as much as a lot of people were. But I mean, that I felt like that loot box system was okay. Fortnite season, yes, that Sasquatch. That's the whole model, right? That's people will. Overwatch does the same thing. I don't know if Call of Duty does this. Does Call of Duty have a battle pass?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
But yes, they when they market their season, the new season coming out, new heroes, new skins, it's always okay, knock it off. It's always marketed together, and then all the cool shit is behind the battle pass. I Get the fuck out of here, bro. But so, actually, I just hold this up because I don't really care about console that much. um, but yeah, that's going to be the marketing gig moving forward with all battle pass. I If you don't knock it off, I will ban you.
You're canceled.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
We love almost all gamers in here.
So let's keep this about
We got
Activision.
45 seconds before an ad,
All right.
but let's keep it.
Let's keep it about
Activision.
Activision and Blizzard, and let's move over to the Diablo 4 Battle Pass controversy. You heard about this?
Yes, heard about it.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you're actually playing it. I'm just reading about it. So you go ahead. I want to hear your take on it because I haven't played.
So actually, I just have something small to say, and that's I can't believe the nerfs. Like they nerfed everything into the ground. Absolutely everything. It was hogwash. Yeah, that's I know. I'm sorry for a younger audience. Plug your
Whoa,
ears.
my ears.
It's just so bad. I can't believe that they just now they are going to revert most of the things that they did or repatch them, but sheesh, it is terrible what they did. And I know that's not what you're talking about. So why don't you?
So the battle pass, from what I was reading is most battle passes the way they're set up is they're like whatever $10, and then that gives you a certain amount of in-game currency. I believe it's called platinum currency in this, right? Platinum,
Yep,
and
yep.
and then eventually, as you play through the thing, as long as you don't spend that currency on other things like skins and such, you can build up enough to buy the next battle pass with that. So Fortnite, I think it's 900. Why am I like V-Bucks? That's what they're called. You can earn enough V-Bucks to purchase next season's pass. And that allows you to unlock everything in the season pass and everything like that. But apparently in Diablo 4, you don't even earn enough 950 is I guess. You don't earn enough of this platinum currency to even buy the cheapest thing in the store or the battle pass or whatever. And I think that is the most Activision Blizzard thing I have ever heard in my entire life. Like
Yep.
they're stooping way down to EA level on this one. And then another thing I read is that to activate the premium battle pass, the button is right next to a button that you constantly have to press to see your season journey. And I think that's really crappy too,
Yikes.
because you're just clicking on it and it's just like, oh, purchase, see you later. And I'm just like, like, could you imagine?
Wait, then I have a crew pass. You get the battle pass, that month's skin, and 1,000 V-Bucks for $12.
That's a better price than it was, because I think it was like $9 and you just got the battle pass.
Huh, interesting.
So
And
that's
that's
actually not
just
bad.
and they're just cosmetic. That's the problem. I like. That's the reason, not the problem, but the reason why I don't buy it is because it's just cosmetic. I again don't care about how my character looks when I'm playing the games. So I I'm okay with all of that.
And then, but apparently, Activision Blizzard has made a statement they're going to update the UI for that specific menu to move the button to a different area. But like
Of course they do.
they knew what they were doing as soon as they put like they were like, I bet we'll get like at least 1,000 accidental purchases on this one, you know?
Yeah, like what yeah, and they probably already have, and this is a bit conspiratorial, but they probably already knew about it and have a a fix already,
Yeah.
right? Like
But they've
they're
waited
I
this
think
long
they're
to push it out. Just I I've never understood that either. When you get like developer updates and like we have this update scheduled for 2 months from now. Like if you have it, just push it out. Like put like when you complete one of your little bullet points, just send that out instead
I
of
don't know how it works.
me neither.
Uh
But
Jason Jason might have more insight to the inner workings, so if you do, feel free to chime in, but I couldn't speak to the logistics of releasing patches. I'm sure it's strenuous, maybe. I don't know. Blizzard is horrible for reading the community as a whole, or they're okay at reading the community and they just don't give a shit about them.
that's probably more likely.
Speaking of microtransactions, if I can get on this soapbox,
Go ahead.
uh, the microtransactions for Overwatch 2 are appalling. They're absurd. It's like they'll release a new skin and it's like 18 or $20
Yeah,
for a
that's
freaking for a skin.
yeah. Fortnite did the same thing, and so does Call of Duty, where it's like $18, $20. But at least in Call of Duty, you're getting like it's like one or two skins, and then you're getting like a gun blueprint, and then you're getting like stickers and charms for your guns and stuff. So you end up getting like 6 or 7 items, and like I kind of justify that a little more.
No way. Are you kidding? For $20?
I Some of them are really cool, and I do
Oh
care,
my
and
god.
I do care about how I look at video games, but I'm also not over here complaining about how much it is. I just don't care, you know. Does that? Yeah,
Yeah.
when they only have packs of 3. Yeah, I mean,
Do you know what this is?
it looks like distilled water.
It is water, but it is not distilled water.
That would be an extra $20.
This, I might pay $20 for a gallon of this water. This is not vinegar. This is tap water from Athens County. This is Leax.
Oh,
This is Leax water.
that
The
is
favorite-
worth its weight in gold.
This is my favorite water on the planet. It tastes like bugs and chemicals.
There's nothing like Leax gas water, dude.
But I grew up on this water, and whenever we travel down to good old Southeast Ohio, I get a gallon of it, and I drink the hell out of this water, and I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't care what any of you are saying to me or about me right now.
Oh man,
Jason knows how disgusting this is,
it's so good
But-
though.
but I love it.
Did you
So-
did you play Immortals Phoenix Rising?
Immortals feet? No, I did not.
You should have. It was Ubisoft's Breath of the Wild like, and there was apparently a sequel that got canceled because they're reallocating resources to other developments, and that's a pretty big bummer to me because I really enjoyed that game, and it wasn't as in depth as Breath of the Wild was, but the story, it was basically you were completing these quests, but it was being narrated by Poseidon and Prometheus, and the entire time they were just sarcastically making fun of you as you were getting your butt kicked, and it was hilarious, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm sad that this sequel is being canceled because I didn't even know about it, and now I'm upset that it doesn't exist anymore.
It must. Did it have some past tweets?
What do you mean?
Is it getting canceled for past tweets?
Or past
Tweets from when?
I hate
Yeah,
you.
tweets
You're the worst.
From when it was like
I don't even
14
know.
years old.
I don't even know what that is. What's Twitter? Who heard?
What's
Never heard of her.
new phone? Who dis? Not a bad game. Felt like a letdown though for some reason.
I feel like it was overhyped. I think their marketing team definitely overhyped the game, and then it ran into some bumps. It was originally like Gods and Monsters, that was the name of it, and then they kind of went through development hell, and then finally came out, and it wasn't a shadow drop, but it felt like sort of they were just like, here it is, kind of thing. But when it finally dropped, I actually didn't play it until probably nearly a year after it came out, and I think I was just scrolling through and got it on sale, but I was pleasantly surprised. I liked all the abilities in it, and the gameplay felt snappy, and Chris is being drug away. Oh, there's a kitty cat in the picture now. Cat cam.
This is Drift.
Does he drift?
I think that's his name. We just call him Kitsia. Kitsia, say hi.
Is that on the back of the back end of the Assassin's Creed series?
He just wants to go. All right, bye.
Sort of. It was kind of like in between. I think it was in between Origins and Odyssey, but ever since Odyssey or Origins, I haven't really followed Assassin's Creed because I don't really like the new RPG game style that it has. I preferred the more action adventure genre that it sat in, but But I don't think Assassin's Creed is ever going to go away.
I just I it said Ubisoft was bad with microtransactions and charging out the butt for DLCs. DLCs. I didn't read that as an L at first. Oh yes, old Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed 2. Best Assassin's Creed, hands down. Don't at me. Don't X me. I don't. Is it still adding? Do you still add on X?
Requiescat in pace.
Top 5 game of all time for me. I thought I said something wrong. No, you didn't say something wrong. I read something wrong. Very wrong.
Oh, and then I guess we can probably end on this one. But did you see that CD Projekt Red, the developers of Cyberpunk 2077 and the Witcher series, they just laid off 10% of their entire workforce?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did read that, but honestly, I only read it in an article you sent me. So,
That's fair. I don't know. It's just it's kind of weird given I would have expected this kind of but did you see Oracle Seasons has been released on the Switch? No, I did not.
nice.
I did not see that, but that's pretty sweet. Is that part of the we're getting sidetracked, but did is that part of the online service, or can you like purchase that through the eShop?
I don't know which one that is. Old Bartel, you want to let us know? Yo, what's up, Rumble Truck? Welcome to chat.
Fable
It's all
3.
good.
Yep. Fable 3 is one of my favorite games. It's
I don't.
in Go ahead.
I don't. Oh no, no. Go ahead. I wasn't gonna talk about Fable, so
Oh,
get on it.
it's in my short list of probably my like it's in my top 20.
Okay. Oh, it's on Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's what I
Okay.
figured.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I've never played Brotherhood. Is that I'm allowed to say that, right?
Isn't that
Assassin's Creed. Is it? Is
that's like number 3 in like chronologically, right? It's Brotherhood and then Assassin's Creed 3 and then Assassin's Creed 4.
I think so.
Okay. Brotherhood
Let's do.
was Brotherhood the one where you lived like in your was it your uncle's manor out in the countryside and you could upgrade it, or was that number 2?
No. Number 2. That was not number 2. Assassin's Creed 2 was a 3-game series.
That's right, because there was Assassin's Creed oh, don't tell
Come
me.
on, man. You can do it.
Mm, that's gonna bother me.
Okay, well, you think of that. Yes, Twilight Princess, 2 Brotherhood, and damn.
Son of a biscuit eating bulldog. I'm not looking.
It's not Black Flag, right?
No, that's number 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
What is the name? Go ahead, sorry.
While you're looking that up, yes, Twilight Princess was awesome, and I still, yep, you got it. What is it?
Revelations.
Oh yeah,
And I just made the revelation right before I scrolled down, and I was like, oh, that's a good name for that.
Get it? Revelation. I get it.
Ay, ay, ay. He said no.
Anyway, yeah, they should. No, he was talking when I said
Oh, okay.
Black Flag. What? Calm down, jeez. Break a blood vein.
Old people do suck.
Anyway, I'm out of here.
All right, see ya. But yeah, CD Projekt Red. Sorry, wheeling back around now. With how much support recently that Cyberpunk 2077 has gotten, with them announcing the DLC. What is it? Something Night City. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna play it. But and then they like turned the development all around. It was a horrible buggy mess, and then they finally turned it around, and now it's worth like playing now. And then obviously the Assassin's Creed games are just incredible experiences. I'm surprised that there. I mean, there has to be something financial going on that they would lay off 10% of their workforce. But
Yikes.
hopefully all those devs land on their feet and find other. I mean, coming from a studio like CD Projekt Red, you gotta at least be hopeful that these people are gonna go and land on their feet and go work on different games in the similar genre and make great games. But I don't know about all of them, but that sucks. Layoffs of any kind suck.
That's true. Also, Cyberpunk, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. What
Okay. You really blanked on it. So,
I said Cyberpunk.
anyway.
I was thinking the name of the DLC that's coming out.
Okay, yeah.
I
Well,
for,
you nailed that one too. The right Night City. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. It's past my bedtime. I gotta go take my medicine and get to bed.
Oh man.
Eat my applesauce and go take a nap. Woo! Anyway, yeah, I think that about wraps up everything I wanted to talk about. So you can wait. it's 5 a.m. Thank you, Rumble Truck. It's not 4. But on Tuesday, I'm waking up at 3.
He has nobody to blame for himself. It's not my fault that he lives an hour and a half away from his work.
On a good day,
Right.
sometimes it's
It's
4. That's true. Sometimes it's
What are we
4.
playing
On
golf out
Tuesday-
here now? 4.
My 4 key doesn't want to work. I am waking up at 3 on Tuesday though.
I didn't know if it was gonna do it because I capitalized the D. Woohoo!
Oh, always capitalize the D. Then sleep on the couch. I'm not sleeping on the couch. I am getting up at 3 to watch the U.S. women's national team play their last group stage match to see if they can win that, because they haven't done well in their last 2 matches. So, but hopefully they can pull this one out. Anyway, that's sports ball, and that's a different podcast.
You want to tell them about a different podcast real quick before we leave?
Oh, yes. If you guys are so interested, you should check out Dad and Company Pod. Hey, anonymous gifter in the chat. Thank you. Hey, Silk. Oh, Silk got gifted a sub.
Heck yeah.
So much appreciated. Now we're 2 away from our goal.
Yeah.
So
thank you, anonymous.
So that podcast, Dad and Company Pod, we release it every Wednesday at 5 a.m. And so you don't have to listen to it at 5 a.m. if you don't want. I know that's early for
No,
some
you
people.
have to. You got to wake up and. I'm just kidding.
Wednesday. It's on any of your major, anywhere you can get podcasts. We're also on YouTube. And we wait, not everyone wakes up at 5 a.m. Is there supposed to be a question mark? Because I think they should.
I try not to.
But we have rebranded recently into a top 10 countdown list. So if you like top 10 lists, I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you go listen to last week's, because last week's was super fun and interesting. It was just me and a bunch of my friends just being a bunch of idiots like we always are. But there's a top 10 lists thrown around in there, and it's top 10 comedies from 2000 to now. And it was really fun. So go check that out. It's called Dad and Company Pod, and anywhere you can get your podcast, or you can catch it on YouTube.
Heck yeah. Well, that's all I have.
Go follow our socials. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and we're obviously on Twitch. Follow our Discord. That's the easiest way to join our community and interact with us. If you want, you can post questions in there and we'll answer them on this forum, or if we see fit on our... Wait, are we on the right?
No, we are. I'm just fooling around. Go ahead.
I'm just fooling around. But so if you want to get a hold of us, that's probably the easiest way, is on our Discord. And if you have Prime, remember you can sub to your favorite streamer every 30 days for free with Amazon Prime by linking your accounts. And if we happen to be your favorite streamers, we're happily take that sub off your hands. We don't want to give up any money to Jeffrey Bezos. He's got enough. Jeffrey Bezos.
That's right. Don't sing his praises.
Don't sing his praises. I was singing Bo Burnham's praises. Anyway, what was the last thing I wanted to say? Yo, who is this handsome fellow on the left? Well, my left is me. Sheesh, that's me. I don't know if that was. I thought there was one more thing I wanted to say, but it doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
All right, everybody. Well, this has been completely unrelated. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, I love you.